All right, so let's talk about Article 50. It happens today, March 29th, nearly 9 months after 52% of Brits voted to leave the European Union and 48% decided to remain. This is the Lisbon Treaty of Article 50. Brexit is now becoming real. Most importantly, that's when negotiations begin, and that's when the countdown clock begins ticking. Okay, according to this Lisbon famous Article 50, wasn't that famous at the beginning. It was sort of an obscure clause, but it means that now for next 2 years we're going to have negotiations unless the other 27 members of the EU decide unanimously to allow for an extension of the deal to 5 years or whatever. But as we know, as Ed mentioned here, currently it's playing tough. What does this mean for the pound? Well, Brexit, first of all, was a big shock, of course, and the pound crashed immediately on June 24th last year. That's the big fall. Here, when people woke up and Brexit won, and then we had a further fall when Theresa May talked about a hard Brexit, and we had that flash crash in October. So we had a two-phase fall. All right. Article 15. This is no surprise. Today is no surprise. Prime Minister Theresa May here in the picture. She circled March, end of March, already back in October. So she's actually delivering on her promise. No surprise there. There were a few legal hurdles. They caused some spikes in the pound, but nothing too big. Okay. Eventually, Parliament had to approve that, but the government managed to squeeze in all the legislation, all the debates on time. So I must say, British democracy works quite well. The 2-year countdown begins. A better outcome for everybody, I think, for the UK, for Britain, same country, for the EU and for Britain would be to get some longer-term 5-year transitional deal that would allow for a smoother move. Trade talks take a lot of time. The CETA agreement between Canada and the European Union took 7 years to negotiate, for example, and this divorce after 40 years between the UK and the EU is a very complicated matter. In addition, Brits did not vote on the terms of Brexit. They voted for Brexit, that's clear, but somewhat hard Brexit, or what the government calls a clean Brexit, which means being more independent, having more control, and allowing for losing access to a single market, okay? Or those wanting a softer Brexit, which means even the Norwegian model, that means officially being out, but enjoying the benefits and paying the dues, means basically being in. Comment here from Ed, no way 2 years is enough time. I guess it will drag on for a few years. Yeah, but remember, it depends on both sides to agree for that. But most importantly, 27 EU countries. Here is the new pound coin. How will the pound react? I foresee 3 scenarios. And I must say we're already seeing some movement in the pound. So one of these scenarios, at least, is already beginning to happen, but it's not. I'm talking this morning on the day of the Brexit. We have the official announcement by Theresa May. We have the reaction by Donald Tusk. And then we have the beginning of negotiations and leaks. So this is not only a trade for today. It can last for a few days, the reaction to Article 50. So anyway, here are the 3 scenarios. Nothing at all. Wait for the negotiations. It's sort of the baseline scenario that we have no surprises because we all knew that the state is coming, and we'll have to hear some substantial details about the negotiations. The second option is short squeeze by the fact, and what we're already seeing is a just short. Let's dig a bit more into details. So again, the nothing scenario is that everything has been well telegraphed. Negotiations will take time, and in this scenario, current ranges remain intact. That means the pound trades a bit higher, trades a bit lower. Nothing very significant because the big shock was the Brexit vote, and now it's just happening as advertised. Okay, let's talk about the short squeeze. Why am I and many others talking about the short squeeze? Because according to CFTC data, there's a record level of shorts against the pound dollar, against the pound, sorry. And when everybody's short, actually, who's left to sell? We've seen it with the Fed hike. We have had a buy the rumor, sell the fact reaction. Okay, so that's why we could see this once again right now, because everybody knows Brexit is coming. Brexit is coming. Everybody's short. Nobody's left to sell. Boom, we shoot to the upside. Okay, and what we're seeing already now, it depends on the message from. This buy the rumor, sell the fact depends on a conciliatory message by Donald Tusk here in the picture, by Theresa May, and in this case we could see the big levels 127.90, 128.50, and 130. Now let's move to the third scenario, which is beginning to happen, but I'm not sure it will last because we don't know what is actually in the letter. We don't know what the European Union reaction is going to be. So it's just short. Brexit is still bad for trade, bad for EU nationals living in the UK and UK nationals living in the EU. Tough stance, hard Brexit, and this could hurt the pound. Watch out for willingness to suffer economic hardship from May, the hard Brexit or clean Brexit, and watch out for a tone of punishing Britain from Tusk. And according to the reports here that were mentioned also by Ed, this kind of, maybe not punishing Britain, but seeking the divorce fee initially, and then only afterwards talking about other stuff, that could be negative for the pound. Okay, so in this scenario, well, we already fell to 124.15. I prepared this short presentation yesterday. Further levels 123.60, 122.50, 121, and 120. Further leaks, reports, rumors, not only the statements today at noon, but we'll have more reports, more leaks. The European Union is good at leaking. And I must say, if you look at economic data from the UK, also the UK is good at leaking information. Anyway, in this scenario, of course, we can go lower. So to conclude, shorts are heavy, yes, but a lot depends on the tone. And then it's negotiation time. So if a positive tone is positive for the pound, if everybody talks about getting a good deal for everybody, sort of positive words, hope, change, things like that, it's good for the pound. If it's negative, it's about punishing Britain or Britain getting control over borders and neglecting the economy, it's bad for the pound. And of course, then it's at least 2 years negotiation time. The schedule going forward is that